Yes, my name is Madeleine Mabwa. I'm the founder of CPDI Africa, which stands for the Community Planning and Design Initiative Africa. My village is just next door. It's a city too. What I have done most of my life is, once I realized that what I liked doing was architecture, privileged enough to be a relative, a niece of Dimas Wonko. He has been my lifelong mentor. Everything we saw today and more inspired me. The Art of African Architecture exhibition that you see around you, hope you've had a chance to go around, is a direct result of all that I learned from him. How do we celebrate and preserve our own culture and identity in our built environment? So that is what CPDI is all about. It invites architects from around the world, not just architects, but built environment professionals from around the world to join us in creating these new design languages, all inspired from Africa, from the thousands of ethnic groups of Africa. Not just those of us on the continent, but also those of us in the diaspora, America, the islands, Arabia, all of us. In our midst, we have two of our winners, architects Aisha Aminu, who is our first place winner from the 2017 competition with Inara House. Aisha, please say hi. And architect Olade Congo, who was our second place from 2017, who incredibly was actually an intern here at New Culture Studios. So you can imagine where he got it from. Right? So I didn't have to tell him much. And architect Aisha already comes from a part of the country where the culture is already being preserved, has always been preserved in their architecture. So she pulled on her own identity as well. But I had to share what I learned from Dimas, Hughes, Din, Ele, Carolyn Armenta Davis, the one woman in the group, and others. I want to be giving out degrees in African architecture or PhDs in Afrocentric design. What will they learn? Where will they go to learn it? What schools? Do we create our own schools because our universities around the world are not ready to hear the African voice in architecture? What would it be? That's what I would bring to the table. So with that, let me stop and hand over to Professor Hughes, who will show you so much. And it was his presentations 25 years ago when I was a student architecture student. It was his presentations that just set me on this journey. So let him come up here and share with you what he shared with me and so much more. Thank you.
How do you get this thing going as a theory? You have to teach, you have to train, you have to test, and ultimately a theory is developed. So I started at Copperbelt University. When I met these students, you see they're all bright, young men. Some of those guys in those pictures are now the leading architects in Zambia and South Africa. I asked them, take a modern building type, which I'll give you, but design it based on your culture. I didn't even formulate a methodology at that time. I just said, you're African, give me something African. Don't copy it from any other source. This particular guy took the typical individual building unit in a compound, and he, what we call, exploded it in what we call a fractal. This building design right here has been published in at least 2 or 3 other books. They've asked my permission. They wanted to write about it as a foundation for the mathematical elements that can be abstracted from Afrocentric architecture.
When we were visiting yesterday, open this morning, the mall in Isaba, I discovered that this is exactly a transplant of an American mall. When you get through this glazing, you are under AC. Yes. You cannot breathe if there is no AC. And we assume that because we do that, we're doing modernism. I say it's false. Modernism means you look at your tradition, you look at your environment, and you give value to it. This is the definition. To say that when we're doing rendering or visualization. This is the most difficult part for us. Revit or ArchiCAD did not create this tool for you.
Yep.
Sorry. If you want to turn in a thatch roof, you need to create a library for that.
Yep.
If you want to turn ram earth wall or PZ wall, this vocabulary is ours for centuries. We need to create not only a library for your own office, but you need to create an exchange database where all people of Africa can use this library.
Wherever human beings live, they have to try to make it work. Everybody in that society have to contribute their own wisdom, their own skill. But we don't see it like that. If you are involved in any skill, if you are asked, why are you doing that? Because there's money in it. I want to earn money. If you are a priest, very likely the priest will answer the same thing. Why are you in this calling? Well, I mean, there's money in it. After all, some of them have private jets. So, nobody ever knows why. That is lost somewhere on the line.
I want to recognize architect Joseph Show Conte. He is my co-creator. Co-curator, sorry.
Recently I went to Sierra Leone. I was staying in a family house and realized we needed a bed. And if I had never come here just to work with Baba, I would never thought about I have to design a bed, even though I have as an architect all the capability to design a bed. I just thought to myself, I'll design the bed. So that's what I did. I spent 2 days, I designed the bed. I went to the local carpenter, I spent 5 days. I sat with him. I drew every joint in the bed. I said, we're not going to have any nails, but I also saw in Baba's detail the wooden dowel. I said, we use the wooden dowel. But I've never used the wooden dowel before. So, I know it works, but I've never put the round peg through wood. I mean, it's straightforward, but there's other parts. So I said to him, okay, I'll draw it. I'll challenge you, the carpenter. You have to challenge me back. If you're going wrong, I will know. And sometimes, obviously, he wants to go back to what he's used to, because there's a quicker solution. But I also remember what Baba will do. So I will tell him, let's just leave it there, go to bed, think about it. We will continue tomorrow morning. And I'm proud to say the bed was made. It worked. My wife slept on it. She was happy. And now I've left the bed for my brother who lives in the house. So that's all I have to wrap this up with.
Everyone here must have wrapped this up already.
Yes.
Because there's so much detail that has been said. And the beauty of this all is you can connect the dots all the way to what Joseph Conte has said. And the challenge that Baba has